There is nowhere in the world where you can go to a conference that cares about people and that brings leaders together from all around the world. This thing that is happening with Young Leaders Conference is going to interrupt the nation and the world.
Let's do it again. I'll praise your name. Oh, I'll praise your name. Yes, Jesus. Not just today, always, now and forever.
You know what? I'm so pumped about it because he's got so many amazing, he's got the best speakers in America in one facility in a weekend. And what he's doing is he's pouring into millennials, man. And this is our next generation. And he's bringing people to speak into them. These people that came to this conference, they're getting so much input from so much wisdom in just 72 hours. He's chain breaking things off these people all in one weekend. So I'm really proud of him.
Not just today, but always, now and forever. Come on, I want you to lift up. When the praises go up, blessings come down. When the praises go up, blessings come down. When the praises, blessings come down. When the praises go up, blessings come down. Praises go up, blessings come down. When the praises, blessings come down. Blessings come down.
Everybody's here. So next year, I'm expecting to see Mary and Elizabeth, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. They all coming from heaven because everybody on earth is here. This thing is amazing. I've never seen a lineup like this, and heaven on earth next year. So it's gonna be amazing.
Blessings come down when the praises go up. 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 If I be lifted, I will draw every man. I'll draw every boy. I'll draw every child. When the praises go up. Somebody lift Jesus. Lift him in the room.
Hey there, family. My name is Mark Moore Jr., and I am the host and founder of the Young Leaders Conference. And let me first say thank you so much for taking time out on a Friday night to be with us at our vision meeting. I know our moderators are in the comments encouraging you to do the same, but I want to also ask you, take a moment and share this video with somebody that wants to be better, because I believe there's going to be some information shared tonight that's going to help you make that decision about whether you're joining us at Young Leaders Conference 2020. Listen, to make our vision meeting go smoother, I'm going to be working off of our 2020 vision plan, and I would love for you to have your own copy so that you can follow along with me and even just keep it as a resource. In the vision plan, we not only have our annual report, we not only have our new initiatives, we not only have our 2020 calendar, but we also have a prayer guide that you can use around the clock 24/7 to advance in your personal prayer life. And so all you have to do to get your copy, it's over 50 pages, and so you definitely want to see this. All you have to do, even as you're sharing this now, grab your phone, grab your smartphone, and simply text YLC 2020, one word, no space, YLC 2020. You're going to text that to 555-888. As soon as you do that, they're going to send you your own copy of our 2020 vision plan so that you can see for yourself where it is that God is taking us. I want to jump right into it because I respect your time. And again, you did not have to make space on your calendar for a Friday night vision meeting, but I'm so glad that you're here. But let me jump right into it by just acknowledging without hesitation or delay that one of my life's greatest joys has been serving as the host of the Young Leaders Conference. From the days we began, as many of you have heard me say, in that meeting room at the DoubleTree with only 50 people from a local area, all the way up until this year, 2019's conference, in which we utilized the 400,000 square foot Georgia International Convention Center and had over 5,000 registrants. Every year, many of you who have followed our journey know and testify that we have been intentional about trying to demonstrate growth, not only numerically, but even growth in the extent or the quality of the vision that God has trusted us with. And so this year, 2019, which was groundbreaking on so many levels and in so many ways, I really feel that this year was a tipping point for us, and that this year's conference set us up to see not only success, but unprecedented success in 2020. And so I want to kind of unpack some of the vision that God has given us. You know, you read your Bible, you know that the word reminds us that where there is no vision, the people perish. And so I want you to know that YLC is a movement. It's beyond a conference at this point. It's beyond 3 days in Atlanta. But this is a movement that has a vision from God that I want you to be a part of. Let's jump right into it. And for those of you that have already texted in, you should have your vision plan in front of you. Join me on our P&L highlight page, because I wanted to kind of begin with an annual report of sorts, all right? I wanted to kind of begin letting you know where we're going by reminding you of some of the places that we've been. And so let's start with some highlights from our profit and loss statement. This year, because of the rapid growth of the conference, we have grown, and I'll be honest with you, faster than I thought we would. It's not only that God has done more than I ever expected, but it's really a more accurate descriptions that God has done it faster than I expected. And so in an effort to make sure we were walking right, in an effort to make sure that we were operating at our maximum capacity and really being good stewards over what God was blessing us with, we brought in an outside professional accounting firm to really kind of comb through our books and make sure that we were really structured for success. And I want to be honest with you, their findings shocked me. You have to understand where I'm coming from, all right? I remember as if it were yesterday, sitting going over the budget for the first Young Leaders Retreat. I remember that budget was $2,170. And y'all don't judge me. I can feel some of your judgment through the screen on live. But I remember the pressure and just the anxiety around God. How in the world are we going to come up with $2,170 to execute this massive vision for these 50 people that you've trusted us with? And so when we looked at the profit and loss statement for this year's conference, I lifted some highlights, and it was really just a reminder of the faithfulness of God and where he's brought us from. Listen to this. This year alone, just on this year's conference, we spent $97,794 just on speakers' travel, that's flights, hotels, and honorariums. Do you guys hear that? This year, we spent $21,226 just on food services. I remember when food services for young leaders was releasing people to go to Chick-fil-A across the street, but we've come a long way. This year alone, we spent $21,419 just on your journals and your badges. Why? Because we're invested in giving you an experience that will last beyond the 3-day conference. This year, check this out, you all, we spent $159,743 just on the stage that you saw. Now, you got to bear with me here, because I'm reflecting even as I'm looking forward. I still have a foot in the past, remembering what God did. I remember at the first conference, don't even talk about the retreat, I remember that the stage design, there was no LED at that DoubleTree near the airport in 2015 when we first did a conference. The stage design was 3 risers, 3 6-foot risers, and we went into the hotel lobby and took some potted plants and put them on the corners of the stage. So I only highlight this to show you that God has brought us, one more time, from a mighty long way. These are just a few highlights from the budget that God allowed your faithfulness to rise to a new level. God allowed sponsors and the right people to show up at the right times. We were able to execute a 7-figure budget. But these are just some of the highlights that I wanted to share with you so you could see a little bit about how God has shifted us. Let's go to the next page for those of you that are following along in your vision plan. I want to talk for a moment about the awards and the achievements that God has helped us to accomplish in the last 12 months. Since YLC 2018 ended until now, God has blessed us to be the recipients of the prestigious Phoenix Award from the city of Atlanta, which is the highest award a citizen who's non-commissioned in the city of Atlanta can receive. God blessed us on Friday night of YLC 2019 to receive a unanimous declaration from the City Council of Atlanta announcing Young Leaders Day right here in the city that our conference calls home. This year, we were featured in over 70 news publications literally around the world, everywhere from Berlin to Birmingham. God put our name in the wind. This year, we made history as the first faith-based conference to host not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 presidential candidates under our roof, and it was not a debate stage. This year, I'm very excited about this. We mentioned the production costs a moment ago. This year, our production was featured in Front of House magazine, which is a extremely credible news publication that they use in the production industry to highlight new norms and industry standards and those that are stellar. We were featured as an outstanding production design. This year, we were awarded with the cover of Connect Faith magazine as a rising star in the faith-based event industry. And I'm very excited about this because this last one is really something that only God could have done. Let me make this clear. It's more than a praise break chant, all right? Only God could have done this because of your faithfulness. Because of your giving, your liberality, we were able to do something that was selfless. And the Young Leaders Conference, as a 4-year-old conference, listen to what God did. We paid off $1.6 million worth of medical debt for those facing bankruptcy. To God be the glory. Let's shift a little bit forward because I want to expand your knowledge base about exactly what we do and what you're a part of. Let's talk a little bit about the reach. Those of you that are following us, go over a couple of slides because in our reach, you'll understand that this is good ground because listen to this. We have grown by over 1,500%. Did you all hear what I'm saying? Since we began, we have seen an increase in growth over 1,500%. This year alone, we were able to boast 5,150 registrants. We were able this year to accumulate 360 volunteers. We had registrants from 49 states and 22 countries around the world. And all those numbers are great. Thank God for the 5,000 strong. Thank God for 49 states and 22 countries and all the volunteers. I love all of that. But the number that really impacts me the most is that this year we had over 60 baptisms between the Young Leaders Conference and our January revival. And for that, we give God praise because our reach has truly gone global. Let me conclude our annual report portion of tonight's vision meeting by giving you some of our YLC social numbers, okay? You all should know by now that much of the growth God has trusted us with has come through the proper stewardship and management of our social media footprint. God has raised us up and really given us incredible people on the team that have been gifted in knowing how and when and what ways to maximize social media. And I want to give you just a little bit about our reach here. We, as of this moment, are pleased to have on our YLC TV page over 3,000 subscribers on YLC TV. Every time there's a new video that goes up, whether it be a clip from the conference, whether it be a Young Leaders University segment, whether it be a original content program that we're releasing, over 3,000 people are notified immediately because they are subscribers to YLC TV. Check this out, family. In the last year alone, we have received over 875,000 views on YouTube, just on Young Leaders content alone. In the last 12 months, our Facebook page has seen over 22,525 new likes and follows. And on our Facebook videos alone, this is our weekly prayers. This is footage from the conference. We have received over 415,000 Facebook video views. And on Instagram, we're blessed to have, at this moment, over 12,100 Instagram followers. Now, that means that in the last 12 months, we have a grand total. Look at what God has done for us. We have received 1,290,800 video views from Young Leaders Conference content. And we have, at this moment, 37,555 followers simply and strictly, exclusively on Young Leaders pages. The state of our conference is strong. let's shift gears and transition to the new initiatives portion of our vision plan for 2020. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing." Then I like what comes after the comma. He says, "Now it shall spring forth." Not next year, not next week, not in 10 years from now, but the new thing is coming now. And so I want to make you aware of some of the exciting new things that we are incorporating into our YLC experience. And the first one is an initiative that we have named Neighborhoods and Nations. All right? Let me talk for a moment about our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative. We understand that part of the mandate on this vision is to be more than just a 3-day gathering in Atlanta. We thank God for the incredible time that we have at the conference. But we also know that our global reach comes with a global responsibility. And we don't want to be guilty of only focusing on one aspect of what outreach really is. Sometimes people talk about going to the nations, and I want to do something global, and I want to do something around the world. And that is admirable, that is appropriate, that's necessary. But I want to challenge us that as much as the nations need our help, so do the neighborhoods. And so because of the scope and the size of this Young Leaders Conference vision, we want to make a footprint in both the neighborhood and in nations around the world. And so what this is going to look like is really based in what Jesus says in Matthew 25:40. He says, "Remember, whatever you did for one of the least of these, my brethren," Jesus says, "you have done it unto me." So because of this, we are committed as a conference community and as a movement. We are committed to really serving those that are typically overlooked both locally and abroad. So I need you to picture this. I need your creativity and your imagination for just a moment. I need you to visualize the fact that we have created several opportunities between now and the conference where our entire community, listen to this, is going to gather in multiple cities around the world at the same time on the same day with the same mission. Can I go a little bit further? I think you're going to like this. Neighborhoods and Nations looks like this. We're excited that our first outreach, listen to this, the first thing we're doing under the Neighborhoods and Nations umbrella will take place on Saturday, December the 21st. Listen to this. This is going to take place in Atlanta, Georgia, in Washington, D.C., in New York City, New York, in Dallas, Texas, and in London, England. On the same day, all around the world, we will be hosting under the umbrella of our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative, we will be doing what we're calling Hope for the Holidays. This is one of 4 Neighborhoods and Nations things that will take place over the next year. The first one, again, Saturday, December 21st, Hope for the Holidays. This is our seniors outreach. I want to be very transparent for just a moment. As many of you that have followed me and have seen the growth and the trajectory of this conference, many of you know that while 2019 was an exceptional year, 2018 was literally the worst year of my life. After never losing a family member that I could remember, in 2018 I saw the transition of both my maternal grandmother and my maternal grandfather, who were extremely close to me and to our family. And one of the things that stood out to me while we were in different rehab facilities with my grandfather, or in the hospital with him, or even in those last days in hospice care, one of the things that stood out to me is that his family was with him literally around the clock. My mother, who served as primary caregiver, was always there. A member of our family was always there. But what bothered me was that so many of the other people, these senior citizens, many of them veterans, many of them who have served in public service for years, school teachers and ministers, many of those people had no one to ever come and check on them. It was amazing to me that there were people literally on their deathbed, and there was no family there, there was no church member there, there was no grandchild, there was no spouse. Some cases I know the spouses had already gone home to be with the Lord. But I remember feeling sad for those people who had no one there to check on them. I thought about this, and then I put it in the context of what Jesus said in Matthew. And I thought about the least of these, and I thought about the fact that senior citizens really they comprise a demographic of our society that is tremendously underserved. And so what we as the Young Leaders community are going to do on that Saturday, December 21st, in Atlanta, in DC, in New York, in Dallas, and in London, we are going into nursing homes and senior living facilities simply to show love to the forgotten generation. We are going, now keep in mind, this does not translate to registrants. Many of these people will not be at YLC 2020 because many of these people are bedridden. Many of these people, I don't say this to be morbid, but some of these people that we're going to love on December 21st might not even be with us in August of 2020. But we're doing this because if we're going to be who we say we are, we've got to be selfless in our pursuit and minister to those that need it the most. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go to exploreylc.com and sign up for the city that you want to participate in. But there will be hundreds of people between Atlanta, DC, New York, Dallas, and London participating in our Hope for the Holidays Senior Initiative. The second, and I'm very excited about this one as well, the second element of our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative for 2020, the second one is going to take place in the month of March. And this one, listen to me carefully. We love all of the ladies out there. Young Leaders Conference has an amazing mixture. We are blessed to have 51% of our registrants as female, and 49% of our registration is male. The numbers are incredible. The numbers are nothing but God. But we want to do something in March, listen to me, under Neighborhoods and Nations, that will be exclusively for the men of the Young Leaders Conference community. That's right. We are having in the month of March our YLC Men's Day, and we're calling it, check this out, our 100-man march. What does this look like? This is happening, first of all, I need you to listen for your city, and if you're in driving distance, if you're in a flight, the time it would take you to get there, you can take place on a train, you can get on a plane, whatever you need to do. If you can get to one of these cities, I want you, if you are a man that is a part of our community, I want you to join us on Men's Day in Atlanta, in Birmingham, Alabama, in Cleveland, Ohio, in Los Angeles, California, and in Chicago, Illinois. Men's Day will be taking place same day, different parts of the country. And this is what this looks like. Edmund Burke said that the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. I believe, and you should believe as well, that if there were ever a time for men, solid men, to stand, to rise, be counted, and show the love of God, that time is now. And so what I'm doing is on this day, I'm calling the men of our community to meet me in one of those 5 cities, and we're going to be doing 2 things. We're launching a 2-prong attack on that day. We are going, listen to this, into correctional facilities, and we are ministering to men. And then in 3 other cities, we're going to be going, check this out, into homes for at-risk young men in an effort, hear me, to stop a crisis on both sides. We're going to be ministering to the men in the correctional facilities before they come out, so to speak, and ministering to young men in the at-risk youth homes before they go in. I'm believing that hundreds of men. Now, we have to really be strategic here, because as you go to the website, everything's going online right now, exploreylc.com, you'll recognize that we can only take so many men into the prisons. We're doing that in Atlanta and in Cleveland. We can only get so many men into the prisons. Of course, you'll see the information on the site. You have to go through background checks. They want to make sure you're not supposed to be in there. So if you want to go with us, I need you to get your warrants together. Do whatever you need to do. Pay them parking tickets, because I don't want you going to jail and staying there. And we visit you next time. So do what you need to do. The instructions are on the website. But while we can only get so many men in the prison, we have a much higher number that we can get into the at-risk homes for the young men. So if you are a man that is a part of this community, you want to be a part of this community, and you've been looking for something bigger than you, I'm calling you to meet us on Men's Day. If you're in Atlanta, Birmingham, Cleveland, LA, or Chicago, or you can get there, the men of this community will rise and be counted, because we refuse for the triumph of evil to take place. We're going to do something about it. Let's shift to the next initiative that we're leading underneath Neighborhoods and Nations. I don't have to tell you that 2020 is a significant year, not just in the spirit, but very much in the natural. With this being an election year coming up, it is very important that we, especially as young leaders, are aware of what this year really represents. I want to be very, very careful, and I want to be very clear in my next statement. While we have hosted 5 presidential candidates, it is crucial that you understand that YLC is not a political organization. I want to be very clear. We endorse no candidate. We endorse no party. The only one we vote for is King Jesus over here, all right? You are at liberty to vote whatever your conscience directs you to. However, I will challenge you. While I will not share my personal views and my personal choices, I will absolutely challenge you that it is important that we exercise our constitutional right, because our vote is our voice. I want to mobilize, listen to this, we're doing this in June, ironically the day after Juneteenth. I'm calling for a voter registration day. Young leaders are going to gather, listen to the cities, in Atlanta, Georgia, Baltimore, Maryland, Cincinnati, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, and Orlando, Florida, to register brand new voters. We really forfeit, I hope you understand, we forfeit our right to complain if we don't do our part in pushing the process forward. So we're going to be hosting Voter Registration Day in Atlanta, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Detroit, and Orlando. And again, you can visit the page on exploreylc.com to sign up for your preferred city. I want to shift to the final element of Neighborhoods and Nations, because some of you are listening and saying, wait a minute, Mark, and I appreciate your comments. Those of you that are saying something, if you haven't shared, share now, because I want your entire timeline to hear the vision that's about to go forth. We've talked, and I hear some of you saying, well, we've talked about the neighborhood side. We hear what we're doing locally in Atlanta and Detroit and LA and Dallas, but we haven't talked about the nation's side of this. And that's why I'm excited that the final element for this year, for the months leading from the airing of this live all the way up into the 2020 conference, the last element of our Neighborhoods and Nations is the nations piece. And this is what we're calling our Malawi mission. I need you to hear me very carefully. As important as it is that we minister to the neighborhood and connect locally, I want you to hear me very carefully. We do not want to neglect our global responsibility. Because Young Leaders Conference has people that come literally not just from around the country, not just from North America, but from literally around the world, we want to do something that leaves a footprint outside of our borders. YLC has been described by some as a well, so to speak, a place where their vision, their ministry, their family, their ingenuity can find fresh water. And because of that, I want us to make a footprint in the nation of Malawi dealing with another kind of well. We have partnered with an amazing organization. Hear me, family. We have partnered with an amazing organization, and on December 1st, we break ground on a state-of-the-art fresh water well in the southeastern African nation of Malawi. This well will serve, check this out, look what God did. This well is going to serve 2,000 villagers who did not have access to fresh water with fresh water. This, of course, is going to impact health. This is going to impact sanitation in the area. But listen to this. Our gift is not only building the physical well, but it is also setting up, check this out, a village oversight committee, as well as providing hygiene and sanitation training, which will lead to the sustainability of this well. Now, again, I want you to be very clear on this, and I want you to hear me very well. Hope for the Holidays, which is our senior outreach. The Men's Day, YLC Men's Day, which is us going into prisons. Our Malawi mission, which is us building a well literally on the other side of the world. None of this is stuff we're doing to translate to registrants. Those in the correctional facility, many of them will not be available to join us at YLC 2020. Again, those living in the senior living facilities, many of them will not be available for travel at 2020. Many of the villagers, I dare say all of the villagers that we're serving in Malawi will not be able to get flights and be with us in Atlanta. But we're doing this because Jesus told us that what we have done to the least of these, we have done it unto him. I'm excited about our new initiatives. I'm excited about Neighborhoods and Nations. But guess what, y'all? That's only the first new initiative. Can I give you some more? If so, I need you to put it in the comments. Tell me something good. I want to see it. I'm looking right now. I need you to share this. I need a few more of y'all to do this. I want to get everybody in the room because I want them to hear about what we're getting ready to do. Let me give you our next new initiative. I'm excited about this one because the next new initiative, check this out, is something that we're calling $10 Tuesdays. All right. Put that in the comments. Hashtag $10 Tuesdays. This is the next initiative. Neighborhoods and Nations and the subsequent manifestations of that. That's the first one. The second new initiative is our $10 Tuesdays. Now, let me be very clear, and I want you to hear my heart here. While the YLC community absolutely believes in miracles, we have seen them take place in our gatherings. We have seen people get out of wheelchairs. We have seen people go back home and get second opinions and doctor's reports come back clean. We have seen financial miracles. We believe in miracles. But while we believe in miracles, we do not believe that a vision is supposed to be sustained exclusively by miracles. Can I be honest with you? Sometimes our need for a miracle is nothing more than a reflection of our absence of a plan and proper preparation. I do not want us to be in that category. And so I asked God, give us a plan. Now, in the last segment, we went over some of the highlights from our P&L statement. $20,000 just on notebooks and badges, $100,000 on speakers, flights, and travel, and all of these different things. And with the addition of all of our outreach efforts around the world, with the well that we're building in Malawi, with the ministry that we're doing to seniors and to inmates, everything that we're doing requires finances. And so we were praying and said, God, we've got a vision, hear me, that exceeds the limitations of our registration. Because we want YLC to be accessible to the demographic that needs it the most, we cannot price it at what it's really valued at. So in order to make the vision work and to do what God has given us, we need a plan to generate more income. And $10 Tuesdays is in part a response to that. This is all it is. This is all it is. Y'all gonna love this. What we're asking you to do, what I'm asking you to do, is on 5 different occasions throughout the year, every other month. And when we get to our calendar segment, you don't have to guess. They're not pop-ups. Every $10 Tuesday is already listed in our calendar. We have put the work in, y'all. I want you to see this. We have been strategic and intentional and prayerful about putting together a plan. And so we have all of the $10 Tuesdays mapped out, and there are 5 of them between now and August 2020. And all we're doing, check this out, is inviting our community to simply Cash App or go through Givelify and send $10 to the Young Leaders Conference. That's it. Now, let me pause you for a moment, and I see your wheels are starting to turn. Think about what I just said. If we could get just 2,000 of our community. Now, you know, online, as we mentioned earlier, our community is in the tens of thousands. But if we could just get 2,000 people every $10 Tuesday to just say, you know what? I love the vision. I want to be a part of building that well. I want to contribute to getting young people registered to vote. I want to minister to senior citizens and I want to help inmates, but I can't physically be there. But I can send $10 for that. If only 2,000 of our community would do that, listen to this, that would be $20,000 every $10 Tuesday. Check this out, which would give us $100,000 on top of our registration. Hear me, by the end of the year and the start of the conference. $100,000, check this out, can be raised to help us do missions, to help us minister to people that need it, to help us execute this vision in excellence. $100,000 can be raised for that purpose if you would just give the cost of a Chick-fil-A sandwich or Popeye sandwich too, right? I know we are a house divided on this issue. If you would give the cost of a drive-through once every other month, we could do something amazing. Isn't that incredible? Now think about this. I'm not asking you for a $2,000 miracle seed in late July for a conference that starts in August. I'm asking you now if you can find an extra $10 every other month to contribute to ministry, you will help us do something that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. I'm excited about $10 Tuesday, but let me give you another new initiative. One of the new things that we're doing this year in the 2020 conference is we're operating under and in expanded territory. Many of you have heard our testimony about how we've grown from the meeting room at the Doubletree Hotel, 4156 La Vista Road, Tucker, Georgia, I will never forget, right off of 285, Marlowe's Tavern, right inside the hotel, Bank of America across the street. I remember because we were running between sessions, making deposits when people would buy a $10 t-shirt, trying to make sure we met that $2,100 budget. But we've grown from the DoubleTree. We're a long way from there. This year, fast forward, we executed a conference in the entire 400,000 square foot GIC, and guess what? We have outgrown our home. This year, I'm excited because of the increased demand for YLC. This year, for the first time ever, we will be one conference under two different roofs. This year, for the first time ever, we will be right there in the GICC, the Georgia International Convention Center, but we will also be next door in the brand new state-of-the-art Gateway Center Arena. I need you to picture this because Young Leaders is not playing, y'all. We're not slowing down. We're getting bigger. This year, we will have over 500,000 square feet of event space. This will give us, check this out, ample room for breakouts and general sessions. It will give us room for more designated vending opportunities. But this is the part I like most. And this is what I think you're going to connect with as well. Because of the increase in our space, because of the expansion of our territory, what we're going to be able to do is have more space for intentional connections and relationship building. I've told you before, and many of you didn't believe me until you came, got in the environment, and experienced it for yourself. But one of the greatest takeaways you're going to get from your Young Leaders Conference experience is not just the amazing sessions. You already know we bring the best speakers in the world. It's not just the anointed worship services that take place in the evening or the 6 a.m. prayer that takes place every morning in the sanctuary. But one of the greatest gifts that YLC will give you is the gift of new relationship with the people that are going to be sitting beside you. And we have heard you, we have listened, we have watched, we have monitored, and we want to give you more time, more room, more space to be intentional about building those relationships. While I'm talking about relationships, let's transition. Those of you that have texted in YLC 2020 to 555-888, you have your vision plan in your hand. You can follow along with me. Let's go to the next new initiative, which is the launch of our affinity groups, okay? As I mentioned a moment ago, we want to be intentional about making sure you have ease and access to people, hear me, that share similar interests. We want to help you make the strategic connections that you need. And so because of this, what we're doing is at check-in, when you arrive, you're already registered, you arrive to pick up your resources and your badges and your notebooks and all of these things. When you get there for check-in, you will have an opportunity, check this out, to get color-coded bracelets, okay? The color-coded bracelets that you'll be able to pick up, there's no additional charge for them, but the color-coded bracelets will help you quickly identify people that are there for similar interests as you are. Let me explain this a little bit better. Maybe you're looking to make more connections with other creatives. I want you to put your purple creative bracelet on. And as you're walking between the arena, as you're walking to the restaurant, as you're walking from vendors and to sessions, you can identify other purple bracelets and say, hey, you know what? These are more creatives that I should connect with. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you want to connect with more entrepreneurs. Put on your green entrepreneur's bracelet that day or for that session at Go Where You're Going and look for other green bracelets to find people that are there to grow in the same area you are. Now, let me be very clear because there's a significant thing you have to catch here. What makes YLC special in part is the fact that we have 6 tracks and you can go to whatever session you want to go to. You can go to whatever track you want to go to. While you do not have to register for a specific one, you don't have to sign up for a specific one, we do want to give you the affinity bracelets, hear me, to make sure you can connect with people that at least that day, that moment, are looking for what you identify with most. Does that make sense? Let's keep on going. We've talked about our affinity groups. We've talked about our expanded territory. But this is the most important one that I want to talk about because this one is the one that's about to change everything for us. I want to begin by simply telling you that I think it's time. Many of you have asked and inquired and reached out. You've texted me, you've DM'd me. And I want to go ahead and share with you that I'm pleased to announce that the Young Leaders Conference is planting our first ministry. After much prayer and consideration, we really feel led of the Lord to step out of our comfort zone and really maximize the ministry mandate that rest on this vision. Now, I already hear you. I can hear you through my screen. Many of you are saying, oh my God, YLC is planning a ministry. This is incredible. This is crazy. I knew it was coming. I knew this was going to happen. Where's it going to be? Well, that's a good question. It's a phenomenal question. If we look at our analytics, we discover that we have a tremendous base in Baltimore, Atlanta. We have a tremendous base in Houston, in LA, and in Detroit. And all of those are phenomenal cities for ministry. But I want to let you know, you're hearing it here first, that the first ministry plant of the Young Leaders Conference on December the 5th will be planted in Baltimore, Maryland, in Chicago, Illinois, in Houston, Texas, in Los Angeles, California, in Atlanta, Georgia, in Detroit, Michigan, in Orlando, Florida, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Seattle, Washington, London, England, Sydney, Australia, and every other city in the world with an internet connection. Because on December 5th, Spirit and Truth launches as an online ministry that's here to serve your needs. Beginning in December of 2019, you can join us every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right in our cyber sanctuary for a Bible study experience unlike anything else you've ever seen, complete with worship, word, and even fellowship opportunities. Jesus told us in Matthew 4, talking to disciples, he told them that I'm going to make you fishers of men. And I think that it's important that we wake up and realize that in 2019, transitioning now into 2020, that the fish are on Facebook, the fish are on YouTube, the fish are on Instagram, and we're committed to helping catch those fish for the kingdom. I need you to imagine with this for me. Imagine this with me for a moment. Imagine a worship experience, hear me, that provided a relevant word that you didn't have to leave home to experience. Imagine a midweek faith infusion where the unadulterated word of God went forth with passion and simplicity. Think about and imagine a safe place where pastors could send their college students and millennials who are living and working away from home to get a applicable word that met them where they are. Imagine, check this out, a connection point that paired people with physical locations in their city to help them on their discipleship journey. I want y'all to get ready because Spirit and Truth is no longer coming. Spirit and Truth is here. I want to get ready to close out the segment on our new initiatives, but I also want to tell you about a few conference highlights and additions that I want you to be aware of. I already told you that this year we're going to have increased space for relationship building and intentional connections. This year, check this out, we're going to have for the first time an off-site all-access experience. In the past 2 years, we have ministered and loved on and served and celebrated our all-access guests right there in the GICC, but this year, we're doing something different. We're taking them off-site. But this is the main addition. There are a lot more that I don't want to take time to give you right now, but you'll see them over the coming days, weeks, and months. But there's one major new addition to the physical conference experience that I'm very excited about, and that is this. We, for the last 2 years, have had 6 a.m. prayer take place in our main sanctuary, which has been incredible. I can't explain to you what it feels like to see a couple thousand people come out at 6 in the morning for prayer. But this year we're adding something special. On the Saturday of YLC 2020, at 6 a.m. in the morning, we will have, for the first time ever, a communion service. I want you to pay attention for more details that are coming, but we are going to take corporately, collectively, from the Lord's table, this YLC, we will be the first year, this will be the first year that we have communion at the conference. Listen, I want to get ready to transition into our calendar. I need you to make sure, however, that you have shared this with somebody. If you haven't, take 30 seconds, do that right now. You know, I really hope that you've been blessed by tonight's vision meeting for our conference community as to where we're going. You know, I feel that my mandate, the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. That's my part. I really hope that you see and feel the intentionality in planning, the hard work of our incredible team that's gone into this. But the next part of that verse says, once it's been written, once it's been made plain, it's supposed to be run with by those that read it. My prayer is that those of you that are reading this, if you will, whether you've already got your physical copy on your phone or smart tablet or computer, whatever it is, or whether you're reading it by listening right now to this video, I'm praying that you're going to run with it. I want to give us our final segment for tonight. I want to respect your time. I'm so honored that you've tuned in, that you've shared this video, this live with your timeline, your friends. I pray that you'll forward it to those that maybe you think about when we end who need to see it. But I want to give you the third segment of our actual vision plan, but the final segment I want to talk about tonight live with you. The fourth segment is our prayer guide, which is over 20 pages of prayer focuses and scriptures to pray. And no matter what level you are in your prayer life, I promise you our prayer guide is going to be a tremendous blessing to you. It also will help us as a community get synced up, if you will, in our prayer focus. But I want to close out here tonight dealing with our calendar for 2020. I want us to look at our calendar. And again, if you want your own copy of your our YLC 2020 vision plan, all you have to do is simply text YLC 2020, one word, no space. Text YLC 2020 to 555-888, and they'll send it to you instantly so that you can see where it is that we're going. But let's jump into our calendar segment. And of course, we begin right here in the month of November. Every month, and I want you to see this when you actually have it in front of you, many of you already do, I think you're going to be blessed by it. What we've done is we have strategically selected every month of the year between now and August of 2020. We have selected and shared with you not only the key dates for that month, but in our calendar, we have also given you a book of the month that we're challenging and inviting you to read through as a community. We've also given you prayer focuses for the month. We've also given you scripture emphasis. And every month we have included benchmarks so that you'll know where we aim to be in our growth and in our development and our expansion at the end of each month. So I won't give you everything for every month, but I do want to lift some highlights out of every month, beginning in November. Now, you cannot miss November because you need to mark down now, November the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, all right? You need to mark down really Black Friday weekend, all right? Because Black Friday weekend this year will be the absolute best opportunity you have to experience YLC at a discounted rate. I want you to hear me clearly. This is your group registration, all right? This is your rock bottom price. We're giving it to you on Black Friday weekend so that you have an opportunity to get you, your friends, your family involved in the YLC experience for next to nothing. I need you to mark down Black Friday weekend because what's going to happen is this. On Black Friday, we are giving you the opportunity to register for the Young Leaders Conference for only $50. Did you hear what I said? All of this that we're doing, the incredible speakers, you've already seen many of them that we posted. You recognize by now, we bring you the best of the best. All 3 days, the entire experience, the communion service, the early morning, all of it, you can get you and yours in for only $50. This will never happen again. Did you hear? I felt the presence when I felt the weight when I felt that thing all in my spirit. Our finance team does not want it to happen now, but I'm giving you all a chance. Many students and those that are just in transition, I understand life happens, but surely you can use these next few weeks to find $50 for you and your friends. Some of you want to be a blessing to folk. Buy the seats on Black Friday and give them away as the conference gets close. I don't even know who I'm going to bless, but get the seats because they will never be that price again. On Black Friday from 11:59 on that Thursday evening of Thanksgiving, when the clock strikes 12 until 11:59, when the clock strikes 12 on that Saturday morning, you can register for only $50. On Saturday and Sunday, we're pushing towards Cyber Monday. Saturday and Sunday, you can register for only $60. And then, of course, on Cyber Monday, the last day of our Black Friday weekend blowout, you can register for only $70. Did you guys hear that? Black Friday, $50 register. I need you texting right now. Everybody, put it on your church bulletin board, all right? Play this segment of the video on the screens at your church for the announcements this Sunday and tell everybody we're going to Young Leaders Conference 2020 and we're getting in for only $50. Saturday and Sunday, it will be $60. Cyber Monday, it will be $70. But you need to mark these dates down. Black Friday weekend. Do not let this opportunity pass by because it will not come back around again. In November, the book of the month, I'm going to be reading a book entitled Atomic Habits by James Clear. Our prayer focus for November is healing, not simply physically, but physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And then our prayer emphasis, or rather, our scripture emphasis is Psalm 23, the 23rd Psalm, all right? Let's shift over to December. December is a powerful month for YLC because December is where we see the launch of several things. Number one, on December 1st, I'm excited, as I told you earlier, we launch our Malawi mission. We are breaking ground financially on December 1st on our brand new state-of-the-art well, freshwater well, right there in the southeastern African nation of Malawi. It's going to serve 2,000 villagers. That takes place on December 1st. Please be in prayer with us that we have a successful launch to that. And then, here's another first, on December the 10th, this is our first $10 Tuesday. Y'all hear that? December the 10th is our first $10 Tuesday. I'm believing God, and I need you to partner with me. Don't tell me you're praying for us. Don't tell me you believe in God for us. I need you to be a participant. I want you to set aside $10, hear me, for $10 Tuesday on December the 10th. We're believing God for at least 2,000 participants from across our community to simply Cash App, Givelify, whatever you need to do, $10 into this vision as we're impacting the world. December the 21st, this day is going to be powerful in every way. I'm beyond excited about December 21st because this is the first step in our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative, because this is Hope for the Holidays, where we are going into senior living facilities and ministering to senior citizens. You can go to the website, exploreylc.com, and sign up for your cities. Remember, we've already listed, and it's all in the plan, the specific cities in which we're doing this. And remember, it's the same day all over the country. Can y'all see that? It's going to be impactful. December 21st. It doesn't cost you anything. We're bearing the cost, whatever cost is associated with it. All it's going to take is for a couple of hours of your time to help transform somebody's life. December 21st. But then I got a Christmas surprise for you. December the 25th. You know what that day is. This is Christmas morning. What I want to share with you now, for the first time ever, we've not released this. You're hearing it first right here in our vision meeting. Many of you rejoiced and shouted with us at the conference when we paid off $1.6 million worth of medical debt for people facing bankruptcy, foreclosure, all of these factors. Well, I've got a Christmas surprise for you. On December the 25th, I'm pleased to share that the Young Leaders Conference is adding, hear me, $400,000 worth of medical debt to our 2019 purchase, which means that for 2019, the Young Leaders Conference will have paid off $2 million to the glory of God worth of medical debt for those that need it most. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Book of the month is here. Our prayer focus is here. Our scripture emphasis is here in the plan. Let's go to January. January, hear me well, the 12th through the 25th will be the annual YLC 14-day consecration. You'll see more information on the website, but I'm inviting all of us that are part of this community and are ready for a new start. I don't care what city you live in, what your denominational affiliation is. Some things come not out, but by prayer and fasting. And I don't care where you're from, what organization you claim, that's the book, and you can't argue with the Bible, all right? I'm inviting you to join us on our 14-day consecration. We're going to be praying and fasting. And this is how I know that the next event is going to be crazy, because we're leading into it with prayer and fasting. But 23rd through the 25th of January, January 23rd through the 25th, will be the first stop on our Young Leaders Revival Tour for 2020. We will be in the beautiful city of Los Angeles, California. We are going back to Azusa Street, y'all. We're going back to Azusa right there in LA for our first stop on our revival tour. You can register right now on Explore YLC. Space is extremely limited, and many of the seats are already gone. When they're gone, they are gone. We do not have the capacity to the same size for the revival tour that we came with the conference, but you need to be with us in LA. If you can't make Baltimore and London, you at least need to be with us to start the year right in revival. The book of the month for January, we're going to be reading a powerful book by Larry Lee entitled, Could You Not Tarry 1 Hour? I promise you, this book is going to take your prayer life to another level. Our prayer focus is radical obedience for January, and our scripture emphasis will be Genesis 6 through 9. Genesis chapter 6 through chapter number 9. Let's shift over to February for a moment. Again, I want to give you the abbreviated version. When you download your vision plan, you can see everything in detail. But Friday, February the 14th, is of course Valentine's Day, and I've got something exciting for you. YLC is hosting in the city of Atlanta, Friday, February the 14th, we are hosting a singles date night. Did you hear me? Singles from across the city. People are coming in from out of town, from around the country for an evening of games, food, fellowship. It's going to be a battle of the sexes. It's going to be good, clean fun. And if you're registered, check this out. If you're registered, it's going to be free for you to attend. You want to join us on Valentine's Day. And then, check this out, February the 24th is going to be our second $10 Tuesday. Again, we're believing God for at least 2,000 participants. You'll see your book of the month, your prayer focus, scripture emphasis, and benchmarks. But let's jump over to March. March the 21st. It's a significant day. It's the second leg of our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative. And this is, check this out, y'all. The brothers ought to make some noise wherever you are, unless you're at work and about to get fired. Don't just keep your headphones in and just be quiet. But we are celebrating YLC Men's Day on March 21st. This is a part of our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative. Remember, we are going into prisons, correctional facilities, and homes for at-risk young men simply doing ministry. I'm calling the men of this community to meet me on March 21st. It costs you nothing but a few hours of your time and a willingness to make a difference in somebody's life. Men's Day is going to be crazy. The book of the month for March, we're going to be reading Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud. Let's shift over to April. April the 7th is our third $10 Tuesday. All right, you got plenty of time. Fast an extra day. Take that lunch money and help us be a blessing. We need, again, at least 2,000 participants to help us on April the 7th. That is our next $10 Tuesday. And then April the 23rd through the 25th. You need to hear this. This is the second stop on the YLC Revival Tour. We are going cross country. We were in LA in January. In April, we're going cross country to Baltimore, Maryland. That's the second stop on our revival tour. You need to register, secure your seat today to make sure you're in the building. And then the last highlight that I'll lift for April is that in April, we're going to be offering a financial literacy training for our community. It's going to be web-based. You don't have to leave home. It's going to be accessible on your smartphone, your computer, whatever you are. But we want to help you be better, not just spiritually, but holistically in every area of your life. We're jumping over to May. On May 12th, I'm calling for a unity fast for our community from in the morning when you rise until dinner time, because some of us get real creative when we're hungry. Dinner time is not 11 a.m., all right? Dinner time is 4 o'clock p.m. in whatever time zone you're in. I'm asking our whole community to fast on May 12th, a unity fast, believing God for what he's going to do at the conference, all right? Jumping over to June. June the 2nd is our next $10 Tuesday, all right? 2,000 of you, at least 2,000 of you. I want you to help us offset the cost. Remember, we don't need a miracle if we have a plan. Hear me? A wise builder counts up the cost before he breaks ground. And so your giving on $10 Tuesdays, there are only 5 of them throughout the year, one every other month, helps us do missions around the world. It helps us create an experience that's going to change lives, even in Atlanta at the conference. So June 2nd is the next $10 Tuesday. And then on June 20th, listen to me, the day after Juneteenth, June 20th, we're having our nationwide voter registration drive as a part of our Neighborhoods and Nations initiative. The information is on the website, but I need you to sign up for the city you want to serve in, because we are endeavoring to make a difference and an undeniable footprint, not just in the sanctuary, but in the world outside of our sanctuaries. In June, for example, and you can look at it all in your vision plan, but our prayer focus for June, y'all know some significant Pentecost stuff takes place in June, but we're praying for renewal in the Holy Ghost. That's our prayer focus for the month of June. Everybody in this community, we're praying for renewal in the Holy Ghost. We really want to see it happen. God said in the last days, I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh. We want to see that happen. Then let's jump over to July. In July, we have another $10 Tuesday. You don't want to make sure, or rather you want to make sure you don't miss this. And then of course, we're in the month of August. In August, you know what happens, the 13th through the 15th, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, Young Leaders Conference 2020. You can register right now. Over 1,000 of you have already registered. This is without us announcing most of our speakers, without us announcing most of our details and descriptions. Over 1,000 people said, I've seen enough. I know enough to know that I need to be at YLC. And I'm challenging you, whether you are, again, an alumni of this conference, whether you've been with us since our retreat days, maybe you go back to the DoubleTree, maybe you joined us in the convention center stage of our journey as we're getting ready to go into this next phase. Maybe you're linking up with us as we transition from the convention center into the arena. Whatever stage of our journey you're finding us on, I pray, and I mean this sincerely, that something has been said tonight in this vision meeting that would prompt you to dream bigger, to believe God for more. There are countless visionaries watching this right now that I pray are being inspired and believing God at a greater level about what we've laid out tonight. If so, to God be the glory. Some of you, I'm praying, are being pricked and convicted in your heart to say, you know what, I need to do something selfless. My ministry, my church, my business, whatever it is that I'm the steward over, I need to do something that's going to impact people like Hope for the Holidays and the senior citizens, or I need to do something that's going to have civic implications like our voter registration drive, or something that's going to be purely ministry like our Men's Day going into the prisons. I need to do something. I need to be a part of something, maybe like Spirit and Truth, where I can be fed continually the Word of God through a consistent source that I know is going to be there every Thursday night at 7. Whatever your takeaway from this meeting was, my ask of you now is that you will join us in prayer, is that you will join us in partnership, and that you will believe God for exceedingly, abundantly, and above all, that we can ask or think. God bless you. I love you. I'm praying for you. If you want your copy, the last segment is our prayer focus, our prayer guide. If you want your copy of our 2020 vision plan, one more time, simply text YLC 2020 to 555-888. We'll send it right to you. And most of all, be praying for us. Where there is no vision, the people perish. And I'm believing that YLC is getting ready to live. God bless you. I'll see you soon.